it's intriguing. I mean, I think Nebraska actually received votes in the poll this week.
One vote.
One guy voted them at what?
22, which awarded them 4 points. So there's confusion. They didn't receive 4 votes. They had one guy vote for them inside the top 25, which counted for 4 points. But they received a vote for the top 25.
When's the last time there were some times under Miles that probably were close?
Oh, yeah. The beginning of his last season,
the Sioux Falls season when they went there.
After they beat up on Creighton and Oklahoma State, they were top 25.
Oh, they were in it.
Yeah. I don't remember how high they got, but that was the last time.
Seems like 19 is the number that sticks in my brain.
Yeah.
And then the Copeland injury happened, right?
That all fell apart.
Yep. Copeland injury was during the season, later in the season.
Yeah, they'd already kind of starting to slide. They just didn't have any depth, and they got exposed. Eventually, the starters started to wear down, and then Copeland got hurt, and they won 2 games in the Big Ten tournament somehow.
God, they had talent though. Roby and
that front line was as good as they've had since knee.
Roby, Palmer, Copeland,
Watson.
Wow. I mean, that's 3 dudes now.
But this game against Creighton, it's such a big opportunity for the program. It's in Lincoln, red out, kind of a no-sit Sunday type feel going into this game. It's going to be great. I mean, I'm so excited to take my family and watch this game and see the atmosphere. And if Nebraska can defend the perimeter game of Creighton, is because they're going to shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah, and so this is Nebraska, for this game to be what it currently is, they had to take care of business for the first 7 games, and they did that. They certainly had some lulls, especially last time out against Cal State Fullerton, where they didn't look all that great, but they still won by 13. So they did what they were supposed to do. Now they've got some momentum, some confidence. They've got their lineup back, and so all these things that you wanted to check off leading up to this point, where the calendar flipped to December, Creighton comes to town, and then the high majors start rolling in. They've done it, and so now you got a game against Creighton where you're expecting a packed PBA. It's going to be probably a hornet's nest in there with the build-up and anticipation for this one, especially with what happened up in Omaha last year. There's a little bit of juice now. And then you add in what happened to Creighton, where Colorado State had their way with them.
Rocked them.
Held them to the lowest point since Nebraska last year. So
48, right?
It showed that, if you are physical and tough and can kind of dictate the pace and slow Creighton down and make life difficult for them on offense, you're going to have a chance to fluster them. Well, what did Nebraska do to Creighton last year? That exact blueprint. What have they been doing to teams all season? That exact blueprint. So you look at the Ken Pom projections right now. They have Nebraska losing this game, but guess what? It's 73-72. It's a coin toss. 45%.
Has it ever been that close in a long time?
No, probably not. Maybe the 17-18 year or 18-19 year. I mean,
what's Creighton have point guard?
They have the Ashworth kid,
that Utah State transfer, right?
Yeah,
which he's not. I mean, he's okay.
See, he's not Nemhard. When Creighton came in here with Nemhard, he controlled the game in PBA. It was a virtuoso performance in the second half, and I just thought the point guard was the difference. But if they don't have that helps. It helps Nebraska that they're old. I mean, Nebraska is an old team, bunch of just old guys that will handle this fine. I mean, that Ken Pom projection to me is right on. I think it's a game that goes down to the last few possessions.
When's the last time Nebraska beat Creighton 2 years in a row, Rob? I mean, are you going back to like 97, 98?
Maybe not that far, because
I don't know.
I'd have to look.
I'm pretty sure
I don't have that readily available right now, but that's the thing. If Creighton's hitting their threes and they're playing with high tempo and that freedom of moving offense is clicking, there's not very few teams in the country that can compete with them. But Nebraska has the recipe that I think that can combat that with the physicality in which they play with and the pace that they're able to dictate. This will be a huge game for Jamarcus Lawrence. Now, he's gotten better and better every game that he's played. He's got a 12-0 assist to turnover ratio over the last 3 games. He has not turned the ball over once over his last 3 outings. This is a guy that never played point guard before until this season. So you're seeing that natural progression with him. And as a result, Nebraska's offense is really clicking. Over 80 points a game every game this season.